Welcome back to another video tutorial brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. This is part 2 of how to draw eyes, and in the first video, at the end of the first video, we're talking about eyelashes. I drew a little grid down there in the bottom right hand corner in case you first missed the first part, and this is kind of how you do eyelashes. You basically make check marks in each section of the eye, and these check marks can be random, just the way that hair grows. But generally, as a rule of thumb, you kind of want to do the first quadrant, which is where I started, down and up, and in the second quadrant down and up just to the left. Remember, this is a person's left eye, so when viewed it will be on the right side of their head. Now in section 3 down here at the bottom, I'm going to come off of the eye just a little bit to make my check marks up and down. I often see students making kind of straight lines, and that's not really a good idea to do the eyelashes. Also, section 1 has the longest and most abundant eyelashes. Section 2 has the second most abundant, and section 3 has the third most. Section 4 might not have any at all. So in section 3, the eyelashes get considerably shorter too. It's really important to leave that little bit of space there away from the eye. Okay, the eye is located inside of a hole in your head. I believe that hole is called the orbital lobe. So in order to make that eye look a little bit more realistic, we're kind of going to plan out where that orbital lobe is. So I kind of draw a little shape to represent that. Then I start adding value. Now on the top part of the eye, the closer it is to the inside part of the bridge of the nose, it's darker, and as it fades out towards your ears, it actually gets lighter on the top half of the orbital lobe. So that's what I'm doing here. It's dark closer to the center of your face where your nose is, and it fades out. So I'm just trying to make that smooth gradation of value here with the graphite, going from the center out. Also notice that I'm not using my fingers to smudge the graphite. I would discourage that as much as possible. Your pencil tip's always going to be sharper than your fingertips, so you actually have more control over it. I'm also going to leave a little bit of a little highlighted area there close to the inside part of the eye. Next, I'm going to go on the opposite side of the eye and start with the darker part and work your way in. So on the bottom side of the eye, it's actually the opposite. It's darker close to the outside, and the closer you get to the center or the bridge of the nose, the lighter it's going to get. You'll also notice I'm leaving a little bit of space underneath the eyeball for where the eyelashes start. There's a little bit of skin there. Your skin does have some thickness to it, and that gives you that indication there by leaving a little bit of space. Now our eye is really starting to look a little bit more realistic because of the value that we're adding all around it. It's defining more of the form of the eye. A lot of people do a good job drawing the flat part of the eye, but kind of forget about the value, which really brings it to life. Now at this point, I might go back over my very first line that I drew, which was the top eyelid of the eye. It's starting to get lost in the values, and we want to create a full range. So I'll go back and push some of my darker values a little bit. It'll also make my eye pop a little bit. I may add a little bit of age to this person by adding a little bit of extra wrinkles. Here I'm just kind of touching up things, trying to push the value a little bit. If I see that it needs a little bit of shadow in an area, I'll go back in and add it at this point. Alright, now we're going to add the eyebrow, and for eyebrows I kind of like to draw the basic outline or shape of the eyebrow first, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of giving an idea of the shape. Then I'll go back and draw the actual hairs in the direction that the hair grows. So generally grows out from the bottom outward. So that's the marks that I'm making to indicate the eyebrows. Now you have to be kind of aggressive with this and not be too tentative. The marks that you make are very important in selling that this is hair. So I'm just kind of keeping in my guidelines, drawing from the bottom out, and the further it gets out close to the edge of the eyebrow, the more the lines become horizontal. So they start off almost vertical and kind of spread out, fan out. Also, it's important to put a couple stray hairs here and there. No matter how well a person grooms themselves, they're still going to have a couple stray hairs here and there, and that's going to add to the realism of your drawing. Some of those lines can kind of overlap each other a little bit. this point I'm going back in and just defining a little bit of that dark spot of the eye, making the form a little bit more believable. Okay, and looking at my eye, it looks like I'm going to have to add a little bit of value on the left side as well to kind of accentuate the three-dimensional quality of the eye. So I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to go back over my eyelid. I'm thinking about the space that the eyelid kind of comes out and holds the eyeball in place. So it'd be a little bit darker, not too much, because remember our light source is important, and it's kind of hitting the top part of the orbital lobe there. We don't want to get too carried away. And I think adding this does make it a little bit more realistic. And this is going to bring us to the end of this video tutorial on how to draw an eye. Eyes are really fun to draw, and I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching.